I'm Mark Stewart Greenstein, and I want to address some of the moral problems with gambling. Now, I come down on the side that they are worth our state still permitting it because I'm a fan of permissiveness. Liberty is what we should be doing as a state, and restrictions should come by small enclaves, most notably the family. My assemblyman brought this one to my attention this morning. Point shaving. Yes, it has happened a few times, known in the last 2 decades. Even if Connecticut totally restricted sports wagering going forward, some people can be in the national good or not good of a point shaving scheme, that the sports outcome was kind of determined by athletes on the take and the fixers behind them. A few winners, a few inside losers, that's a minor issue if it happens at all. And again, it would be happening nationally, and somebody who is into sports betting can do it online right now. Now, at the same breakfast, this legislator had a companion that brought up, what about overall crime that's associated with more and more wagering? Well, casinos are incredibly safe places in Las Vegas. I mean, given that there's lots of money lying around in the open, there's very little theft. Well, what about the sports wagering part? Doesn't that involve mobsters? Well, we've had one instance in 15 years where there's a known referee on the take. 0 instances of athletes known to be on the take, throwing a game or shaving it to make it close. The mobsters have been out of Las Vegas for at least this whole century. I mean, the last casino to be turned over from reputed mobsters to a big corporation was in 1999. So, look, if mob families are still running casinos in Vegas, they're running them in an upstanding way. I mean, they make great buffets for people at low prices. They put on great shows, good safe entertainment, hotel rooms often very cheap. So they're upstanding now. This is like mobster rehabilitation. Grow out of your old ways. Connecticut would inherit an upstanding, because they're 2 well-run casinos, no allegations of there being crime associated with Mohegan Sun or Foxwoods, and so we're the beneficiaries of that. So, to this candidate, these are minor objections. Let me go to the major one. The moral peril that putting flashy, glitzy, ring, ching, 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 scantily dressed women in front of people who are able to easily part with their money on gambling, that the state maybe should be refraining. I disagree. Families should help compulsive people refrain themselves. If it's really, really bad and beyond the family member's ability, then that is for counseling with a private organization that might be able to do a better job. Please remember, compulsive gambling is very, very low. Connecticut's had casinos for 25 years. The number of cases of problem addiction numbers less than 10,000, okay? That's like 1 in, I don't even know what the percentage is because there's so many people who have visited Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun. If you have compulsiveness to any habit, that's a bad thing. If it's to something that will part you from your money, look, there are many places where that can happen. There's some people who buy $2,000 hubcaps. There are some people who buy $800 purses every month. You can't rein that in. You shouldn't try. I don't think you should rein in gambling or sports wagering either. Not at the state level. Now, I do think municipalities may want to say, we don't want this in our midst. We're not going to have a sports betting parlor here. Fine. Other towns might crop up. We certainly know some of the cities in Connecticut would welcome them for the sake of entertainment and revenue, so people can go to them. Let me put this in perspective. The biggest danger to your finances of gambling or sports wagering is relatively low because these casinos don't take money you don't have, okay? You're throwing cash to get those chips to start, to get those wagering tickets to start. If a casino is giving you credit, they have a bank that there are assets and they look that over very carefully. By contrast, what's more dangerous to Connecticut citizens? Credit card lures. If I'm legislating at all, it would be against predatory credit card companies, the ones who want you to borrow more and more and more so that they can charge you at, in their mind, 18% if they can get away with it. They don't even like you paying it off every month. They like you paying it delayed with interest at a huge rate. So long as you don't go belly up, and even if you do, there's some assets the credit card companies will take. So I would like to see a comparison of how dangerous to people's finances credit card lures are compared with sports wagering. One other comparative danger. We allow people to invest in penny stocks. No barrier there. We allow people to invest in pork bellies, which almost nobody understands the ups and downs. We allow day trading, and with margin, which means you could be liable for more than you are putting forth. You could indebt yourself greatly, far more than a sports wagering book. Now, sports wagering also at least pays a decent return, okay? Bookmakers, they give back at least 90%. By contrast, the Connecticut Lottery gives back 70%. Long-term play with the Connecticut Lottery, 99.9% of people are clear long-term losers. Okay, the numbers are so stacked against you when there's a 30% vig. When there's only 3 to 9% taken by a sports book, you have a decent chance of winning, and you have reasonable entertainment in the process. So please put it in perspective. The Talmud does. Our best authority in my religion is the teachings from the Talmud. This doesn't come out of the Bible. The Bible's silent about gambling. The Talmud is not against gambling. It doesn't like compulsiveness. I'm going to add something. I don't like unchecked compulsiveness. We all have compulsive instincts. Human nature, if something's good, we want more of that. For me, that's ice cream. For others, that's steak. For others, it's having their money at stake with a roulette wheel. So the brake on compulsiveness is a companion. Somebody who will tell you it's time to stop. And the biggest danger, I think, is loneliness. The biggest danger to losing your bank account is that single man, usually, who has no tight family and nobody to put on the brake and nobody that he's responsible to other than himself. So if he loses all his wealth, well, he's not hurting a child, not hurting a wife. So it is a mild argument for communitarian and those who don't have family members. Maybe we look out for them a little bit more. Thanks for observing with me.